Hi, it's Dr. Matthew Hale. It is February 20th, 2021, and as you can tell behind me, it has snowed quite a bit over the past few days, and yesterday was the first day I was able to sort of leave the house and do anything. I'm going to be going to a couple of stores, basically Target. I could go to Walmart, but I don't want to do that to myself, especially in a pandemic, but generally speaking, I don't want to go to Walmart. And we're going to look at toys. And just for reference, my house is back there. That's what the road conditions kind of look like on my side road. Once you get to the main roads, it's totally fine, but I'm gonna try not to fall. Through the magic of editing, I am now here at the Nashville West Target location. We're gonna go inside. All right, so technically I don't think I'm allowed to record in Target, so I'm gonna do this rather inconspicuously, and then I will add voiceover later. So 3, 2, 1. Play behavior isn't trivial. It's a universal human phenomenon, and it manifests in a number of different ways. In this video, I want to think through the role of toys, games, playthings, specifically those sorts of mass-produced consumer objects of play that are sold at retail environments primarily, though not certainly, exclusively to adolescents and children. Although the adult action figure and collectible market is incredibly important to the toy industry, we're not going to be focusing on that here. We're looking at children and adolescents. What are the toys that are being sold to children? Now, a quick, I don't know, maybe a confession you would call it, or an apology. This video is a bit of a concession. If COVID weren't a factor this semester, I would have asked all of my students to go explore the toy aisles at big box retail stores and to document the kinds of products that they see, to ask how they're marketed to whom, and ultimately, I would have wanted them to think about how these products are shaped by, how they reproduce and reinforce the dominant ideologies of their society. I mean, just look at these products here. These are toys that are literally teaching children how to function as adults. And look here, if you look at this Play-Doh, here is your very own Create a SoundCloud Rapper Play-Doh set. But of course, COVID did happen, and we're all dealing with it, and that means we have to make a lot of changes, including in this assignment, which is, it's not that big of a deal. So, in lieu of that, I'm gonna offer up some details of my own trip. So here goes. This Target allotted about 13 aisles to toys and games, excluding, of course, video games, as those goods are located in the nearby electronics section of the store. Of the 13 aisles, 2 of them were dedicated to toys for infants and toddlers. 2 to 3 aisles contained mostly products that were clearly marketed as either being gender neutral or were targeting both male and female identifying customers. The remaining aisles were equally divided between toys that were marketed for girls and boys. Now, I'm not trying to ascribe to those sort of gender stereotypes. I'm just telling you. Wait, hold up. This has to be the most pensive Nerf player I've ever seen. But I just interrupted myself. Where was I?
Oh yeah, basic logistical facts about Target. Well, I gotta work on myself a lot. COVID's brought up some things, Did you see the way I shook hands with that mannequin at the beginning of the video? Yeah, it's Anyway, back to the video.
The remaining aisles were equally divided between toys that were marketed for girls and for boys. The former aisle was decked out in pink Barbie boxes, baby dolls, and faux beauty supplies, while the latter, the quote-unquote boy aisle, contained things like impossibly ripped action figure bros, toy cars, and Nerf weaponry. So if you're interested in learning more about toys, games, and play studies, here are some scholars and works that you should look into. Dutch cultural theorist Johan Huizinga, whose book Homo Ludens is an absolute essential text, and it's a classic in play studies. You need to read it. Then, of course, there's Roger Calaw's Man, Play, and Games from 1958. After that, I'd recommend you check out the work of Sigmund Freud, particularly his text entitled On Creativity and the Unconscious, also from 1958. And then there's one of my personal favorites, Gregory Bateson's 1955 essay, Theory of Play and Fantasy. Just Google it, you can find it online for free very, very easily. Then there's Piaget's work from 1950s into the 70s, Soviet psychologist Lev Vygotsky's work on play theory, learning, and childhood development, From England, there's Donald Winnicott's 1971 book Playing and Reality, Russian philosopher of language Mikhail Bakhtin, who we've talked about in previous video lectures. His book Rabelais and His World explores the medieval carnival tradition. It's fantastic. Last but certainly not least, I'd look at interdisciplinary scholar Brian Sutton Smith's books, including but not limited to The Folk Games of Children, Toys as Culture, and The Ambiguity of Play. Actually, if all or any of this really interests you and you want to research games, toys, and play, I'd recommend you check out the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester, New York. It is a fantastic museum with world-class collections, and they have multiple research grants for students, faculty, and independent scholars. So if you're interested in doing research on, let's say, video games or board games, they've got you covered. All right, so that is it. I am outside the Target. I bought... Doing this with one hand is a little bit difficult. But Play-Doh. This is for a subsequent video. I'm going to try to do some green screen effects with this. I'm not actually sure if that's going to work, but we'll see. But overall, this went fine. In the VO, I'll be saying some things that are smarter than what I'm saying now. Hopefully, who knows? I'll have some time to prepare. But overall, I thought the video... I thought the experience was interesting. I think in our normal everyday today lives, we go shopping and it seems normal. Now this year, 2020 into 2021, shopping's a very different experience. It almost feels like you have to put on battle armor and you have to put on a mask. And there are a lot of protocols now with the day-to-day experience of going and having a consumerist experience. It's not that I'm advocating consumerism, but I'm just saying it's a very different experience that it used to be a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. It was very relaxing or mind-numbing or whatever to go in and buy stuff.
Merchandise, Morty. Your only purpose in life is to buy and consume merchandise, and you did it.
If you're a student of mine, I hope this resonates with some of the things that you're reading from Elizabeth Chen's book this week, Purchasing Power. I actually read this book as an undergraduate, and it was one of the first texts that I had ever read that really made me consider toys and consumerist goods as having an ideology or perpetuating or maintaining an ideology, something that was perpetuating a system that I was a part of but didn't realize I was a part of. It kind of made those things that were invisible and tacit feel real and concrete, and I could kind of get a grasp of them. So I hope it does the same thing for you. You're only reading a couple chapters of the book. It's a good book if you want to buy it, or if you want to read it from cover to cover. It's really, really good. It's worth your time. But all right, that's the video. Take care, have a good day, go buy some toys, or don't buy some toys, you mindless consumer. Consumerism is all that matters, or it's terrible and you're blind. I'm not really sure how to tell you how to feel. All right, well, that's it. Take care, be safe. If you're in the Tennessee area, try not to drive. Also, look how dirty my windows are. Look at that. Winter. Dirty. I don't like it.